Hey everybody, it's Frankie. So now getting back to Thor, Son of Asgard, and this book is getting really interesting down the line. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that whenever I do a continuation or the third issue, you are here to witness what marvelous things happens in this book. So basically, what happened in the previous issue is that when Thor, Border, and Sif defeated some giants, three arachnids that Loki has sent on their way, Odin was basically proud of Thor, Sif, and Border. So for them to take a warrior's path, he then gave them a quest so that they should find 4 items that he will use to make an invincible weapon, and one of the items that they are going to find is the scale of Hukure, a dragon whose scale is basically impenetrable. So this is supposed to make the weapon invisible, strong, and essentially unbreakable. So this issue basically picked up with Thor, Border, Sif going through the desert, and at this point everyone was dead silent and no one was talking. Even Thor wasn't talking, and we know how Thor loves to talk. And so while their silence extended throughout their trek, Thor immediately knew that their problem is essentially with him, because they are looking at him so weird that he's even not he's not feeling good about that. And all this is just because when Odin asked them if they would like to go on a quest, Thor answered for them without consulting them, which is not cool at all. But the issue with Thor is that he doesn't really understand it that way, because he knows they are friends, so wherever one friend goes, then the other should automatically follow, right? But this is not the case, and this is like a death mission. So when Thor wants to go there, he has to basically consult his friends in order to see if they are willing to go, because this is a matter of life and death. And that's probably what friends do, because you have to support your friend in any situation, and that's basically Thor's perspective. But with Sif and Border, they don't really get it that way, because in friendship you have to consider giving your friend the chance to make his own decisions out of respect for friendship, and that's basically what friends do in order to show respect. And if you don't do that, then you are then treating them like dummies and like your bitches that do whatever you think or whatever you want them to do, and they are not cool with that. But it lets him know that they know that Thor is basically doing this just to please his father and to show that he's worthy. So that's why he is just doing this, accepting challenges head on. And we know in Asgard, Thor is not someone who is beloved for his attitude and his actions, and it's rather Border who is beloved and Lord for his actions, for his goodwill in Asgard. And Thor, trying to redeem himself to his father and to take his father out of his shadow, he then feels that there is a need for him to prove himself so that he will get over his father's shadow. And with this going back and forth, Thor was like kind of disappointed in especially Border, because as a son of Asgard who is beloved, he is actually shocked as to why Border would want to think twice about accepting a challenge that was given to them by Lord Odin himself. But with Thor saying this, he basically pays Sif off, who is also a warrior just like them, but saying son of Asgard, ignoring the fact that Sif was also there as a warrior to assist them in their conquest. Sif was like, do you like see me like a cheerleader who will just be dancing while you do the fun stuff? No way. From now on, I'm taking the leadership role. So you guys gotta pack up and then follow me, because I'll be leading the way from here, the way which you've probably messed up. But their short bickering, their conversation wasn't done, so they were bound to continue at some point in time. But right now they have to follow safe, and they got there and the dragon was kind of waiting on them. Voila, I've been waiting for you for a good minute, and I bet no one told you I can talk, right? And that's not the problem they have with the dragon, because the dragon being actually up at this moment waiting on them it's kind of like the problem, because they thought they might sneak up on him and then like grab a skill and then off they are gone. I mean, but this is a comic book, so definitely there's going to be a fight. So, and also their main issue is that someone has basically snitched on them. So Thor basically came out and standing on the high ground, he was like, we are here for a skill, so just give us that and then we'll head on our way. And the dragon was like, I know who you are, so keep on standing on that high ground and keep talking that shit and I'm gonna eat you. I mean, he didn't really say that, but they got into the battle and their asses were being handed to them by this giant impenetrable dragon. And Thor being hit by a tail and being knocked out like for like a good minute. They get in it. And this is a real ass whooping. So but basically they realize that the reason why they are losing badly is because their minds are not intertwined. So basically they fought before they came into the battle, so everyone was basically doing what he or she wants, and they realized that they should join forces and then use their mind and then combine whatever they have, and then only then will they have a chance against this thing. So they came up with a plan that Thor will climb that cliff over there. So they will lure the dragon to that cliff and then Thor will jump from that cliff and then pierce the dragon from the head, and then that should be able to knock out the dragon. And they did that and then the dragon was knocked out cold. And but the fact that someone has snaked on them is still wailing on them. And Save, who doesn't really like Loki, he knew someone like Loki is the only one who would do that. And it's Loki. Loki is it's Loki. That guy basically torments Thor because he feels it's funny to torment Thor. So yeah, just turn Thor all the way. And it's Loki, even though he's young or old, it's still Loki. But also at the same time, Thor is not someone who would believe what Sif is assuming, because at that time that Odin told them they are about to go on a conquest, Loki wasn't there, because Loki has been told to go and clean the weapons hall where the mess was made. Odin basically sends Loki to essentially go clean his own mess, the mess that he made. The mess with the giant arachnids that he called on Thor safe and border. And that's what Thor thinks. But we all know that at that time Loki wasn't gone already. He was lurking in the shadows, listening to what was transpiring among Odin and the Warriors 3. And Thor being overprotective about his brother, he was like, there's no way that dude could have done it, because there's only Odin in the room. So yeah, only Odin. And we know this is Loki because he is still in their presence, like he's sitting on the cliff looking at, watching everything, and he was like, you wish it was only Odin that knew. Like, yeah, you wish. And so while the dragon was down for the count, he wasn't really dead, but he was basically unconscious. So they had to quickly grab the scale of the dragon so that they would skedaddle. And with all this happening, we then saw this mysterious figure who is again watching everything from his flash screen. From his touch flash screen. It's a touch, so yeah. And so I want to put this out there real quick, so before we get out of it. And after they've defeated the dragon, Thor essentially apologized for making sudden decisions and for making decisions for them. So, and they forgave him, but still they are in this mess which Thor has brought on them. So there's that one too. So what can we say about that one? And that's it for this issue. Make sure you like the video if you like it, of course. Subscribe to the channel so that when the next issue drops, you'll be the first one to get it. It's Frank K with K Comics, and until then, peace.